This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
And this is Saturday, February the 22nd, and you have entered overtime. Now, it's not an easy existence living in the shadow of basketball every winter in a region where round ball is near religion. But on this night, let us be reminded that the high school wrestlers in the Tri-States should take a backseat to no one. From Columbia to Des Moines to Champaign, our kids have done us right proud here on the state mats. Tonight served as the culmination of their journeys, and it's only right that the brightest spotlight on this evening is reserved for those young warriors. We start you off in Columbia. Hannibal had 4 guys wrestling for state championships, including a defending state champion here in this fine gentleman, Chandler Foey, taking on Hunter Shelton of Oak Park at 120 pounds. This took no time at all. Foey, a man possessed in this one, striking quickly, rolling his man up into the cradle and then turning him on his shoulders. Impossible position to escape, and it was only a matter of time before Chandler Foey made history with his second state title. He can become next season the 3rd Hannibal Pirate to win 3 state titles in his career. Chandler Foey, amazing, getting his pinfall in 38 seconds. A match so quick we can show it to you in real time. Chandler Foey, now your 120-pound champion. Congratulations to him. You will hear from him coming up tomorrow night at 10 o'clock with Will Wilson. Let's move up in weight class. 126 pounds. Tyler Janes looking for his first state championship, taking on Nicholas Salter of Washington. Janes gets the back points early, and then again, Salter nearly pinned right here as Tyler Janes would turn him over and just start accumulating points. Wouldn't take a pin because it would be a tech fall in all of about 6 minutes for Tyler Janes, who ends up winning a 15-0 decision to win his first state title at 126 pounds. This is particularly special. You might remember that 2 years ago, Tyler Janes broke his leg in practice, came back and wrestled through the postseason, essentially on a style on his knees on a leg that wasn't fully healed. That's how much this kid loves his craft. And today he ends up getting it done. Here you will see the final back points for that tech fall, as it is Tyler Janes winning 15-0. The Hannibal roll continued. Janes getting all kinds of happy after that one and winning with the big celebration as well. Moving up to 160 pounds now. Colby Callings taking on Jaden Bears of Staley, trying to make it 3 titles in 3 appearances. This match a stalemate from front to back, almost all the way throughout. The unfortunate part for Colby Callings, who came in with a 45-1 record, was the Jaden Bears got an escape from the down position, led 1-0, and that's basically how the match would finish. A hard luck loss for Callings. What a season he had. 2nd place for him, but an amazing finish nevertheless as the Pirate roll and the Pirate pride continues. One more to tell you about tonight. Didn't get a chance to stay, and unfortunately for poor Kyle Muring, he got short shrift all week long because 220 pounds didn't start their weight class championship until about 8:45, which made the trip back impossible. But Kyle Muring gets it done again. This time beating Peyton Napoli for the title, 5-2 the decision. Really the drama out of this one. We assumed Kyle Muring would win a state title after he got the big win in what was essentially the state championship matchup yesterday, a match that Kyle Muring won 1-0. Congratulations to Kyle. So Hannibal makes history with 3 state champions at the state meet. That's the first time they've ever done that, and that gives Hannibal a 4th place team finish as well. Great job to Derek Greening, Jimmy Caniglio, and the crew. Unbelievable stuff, but we're not done talking about the Hannibal Pirates because the news gets better as well. After losing yesterday at 113 pounds, Austin Janes wrestling for 3rd place earlier this afternoon against Lamont Wilson of Webster. Janes using his strength early in this one, rolling up a couple of back points there. Doing wonderful work in doing it. Again, Janes kind of just amassing points at different junctures in this match. He would grab another point on a takedown and a couple of more 2 points on another set of back points just a bit later to win a 5-1 decision for 3rd place. Great stuff from Austin Janes as well. His big brother Tyler ended up getting the state championship. Austin Janes just thrilled for a 3rd place decision. So congratulations to Austin, adding to that Hannibal Pirate Haul today, which was simply amazing. And again, the Hannibal Pirates doing absolute work. A proud, proud winter for them. But we're not done. Call it an understatement, if you will, but the Twitter entry on Fort Madison 126-pounder Bryce Myers' timeline this morning said simply, big day today. Indeed, it would be. State championship bout against no less than the undefeated Kaz Unu of Mason City. Unfortunately, didn't work out quite the way Bryce had hoped. He wrestled a strong match, which was 1-0 all the way into the final 10 seconds when Unu rolled him up for a couple of back points, I believe is how it finished. So Bryce Meyer has to settle for second place, but what an unbelievable run for the Fort Madison wrestler as well, who missed much of the early season with injuries, bounced back strong, and finished up strong as well. Congratulations to him. But that wasn't the only good news in Iowa today. After losing his initial match at 182, Keokuk's Dakota Shaw wrestled his way all the way back through the back draw to the third place match, which unfortunately he lost in a 3-1 decision today, but he is an underclassman and a darn good one. So Dakota Shaw will be back and have a chance to pursue that difficult to find state championship coming up next year. But good for Dakota Shaw. What a bit of persistence as he hangs on and does wonderful work as well. Let's move you now to Champaign. History made on a couple of fronts today for Quincy Notre Dame. Jeffrey Haley, the best local finisher from Western Illinois, a third-place finish at 195 pounds. He becomes the first Quincy Notre Dame Raider ever to win, or medal, I should say, twice at state, so good for him. Finishing fourth today, losing his third-place match, was Jack Lucy of West Hancock, wrapping up what has been a simply sensational career. When you think about it, that young man has simply, all on his own shoulders, essentially put a nascent program on the map. So Jack with 3 top 5 finishes in his career. He ends his high school career, but I think he'll be okay next year. Headed off to West Point to wrestle for Army. Unbelievable stuff there. I talked about Quincy Notre Dame. More history for the freshman. Ashton Myers at 106 pounds becomes not only the first Q&D freshman ever to make it to the state meet, but the first one to place as well. Ashton has 3 more years and one of the most promising careers to come down the pike in a long, long time. And speaking of promising, Will Lucy, just a sophomore, 113 pounds, another top 5 state finish. He's already got 2 of them, and a state title would appear to be in the offing for him sometime very soon. Again, wrestling, phenomenal. Great job to all of those gentlemen. It's been absolutely a treat to cover you all winter long. And again, Will Wilson will have much more on Hannibal's phenomenal season, a wrap-up, if you will, coming up tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Meanwhile, let's talk some playoff basketball. The Keokuk Chiefs are all the way to the regional semifinals after a big win tonight in hostile climes, beating Mount Pleasant on its home floor. Keokuk gets the job done by virtue of their efforts. Keokuk gets the chance to play for a trip to state coming up on Tuesday. Their opponent, will it be a tough one? Davenport Assumption with the big-time victory today in moving past Davenport North. Final count in that game was 76-48, if you could advance the scoreboard, which means Keokuk will play in Washington next Tuesday, or this upcoming Tuesday, I should say, against a very good Assumption team. If Keokuk can pull that upset, the Chiefs will be headed off to the state tournament. So good luck to Coach Davis and company on the outstanding showing, and more to come. How about Marion County opening up playoff action in districts today against Brashear? Mike Johnson's final postseason run begins on an up note. Lady Mustangs in hyperdrive in this one. Great pass here from Sadie Pollard to Roxanne Tobias to start things up. Everything going their way, including Devin Johnson with the double dribble trick right here. Thus endeth the trick as she gets it done right there. Yeah, that was a little bit of cheating, but it worked out to her advantage. More to come. Devin with the more traditional hoops goodness here. Great pass inside to Victoria Hales. It's 25-2 in this game. Destiny Johnson going to add to the largesse right here with a felony and the field goal at the other end. And then more from Devin Johnson, this time doing it the right way. 2 of her team-high 15 points as Marion County advances on to the semifinals by a 20-point margin. 44-24 was your victory there. Up next for Marion County will be a showdown with La Plata, which kind of upset. I think you could call it a minor upset of sorts. La Plata, who upset North Shelby today, 47-39. North Shelby season comes to an end despite 11 points each from Abby Rich and Kaylee Smith, as you saw right there. Also in that district, on the other side of the bracket, Atlanta will win and knock off Madison by 11. Up next for Atlanta, a showdown on Tuesday night at 7:30 with BMC. Marion County will play in the 6:30 game on that night as well. We've got some boys regular season action. Let's wrap up the regular season of sorts if we can. Quincy Notre Dame in action tonight against a very very good Peoria Notre Dame team in this one. Riley Walls going to work early in this one. Great take for him. Good start in this ball game from the Riley Walls, the Riley Walls, the Riley Walls. Good stuff from him and good stuff from the outside from Austin Ritter, the only Raider on the night to reach double-figure scoring. Early on lead for Q&D. Back comes P&D. Their powerful inside game working strong for them as they build a 4-point lead. The Raiders come back just before the end of the first quarter. This is Drew Eaton firing for the long three. He was good from right there. Good stuff all the way around from Connor Cramsey as well, the young point guard getting a nice take right here. But Quincy Notre Dame's momentum was soon stymied. Tell you what, Peoria Notre Dame, very good team. They end up beating the Raiders tonight. 57-41 was your final in that ball game. Meanwhile, up in Macomb, senior night as the Bombers played Camp Point Central for the second time in 72 hours. Blake Louderman, DJ Williams will both be very much missed in the hangar next year. Williams proving so right here with 2 of his team-high 19 points. This is Alima Stone with the worst alley-oop ever or the best bucket ever. Take your pick. It worked. Yeah, Mr. Stone was a little flummoxed, but hey, he'll take it. Easy points. The other end, Central trying to answer this game. Remember, Central round one between these two teams on Thursday. Taylor Hyman with a nice take right there. Damone Doyle, though, with an answer at the other end. Macomb much better on the home court tonight. After 2 tough losses, the Bombers bounce back, get a win to end their regular season by the final count in this one of 52-44 to tune up for the regional. Also today, the long-awaited completion of the weather-abridged Rumble on the River, which seems to have been going on since Christmas, because it has been going on since Christmas. Pleasant Hill taking on Western. Pleasant Hill finding some early spark off the bench from Russell Miller with the 3. He led his team with 10 points in the day. The Wolves trying to run. The Wildcats not having any of it, not flinching right here. Evan Earhart with a nice steal and the pretty finish at the other end to extend his team's lead to 8 at that point. They're not done. Devin Schwanke wide open from the corner. Going to knock down the triple right here and kind of get some more separation. It's now an 11-point lead in favor of Western. They're not done building. Pat Rafferty's team looking to Clark Keller from the wing for the wide open 2-pointer at this point. And then some pretty stuff off the inbounds pass right here is Donovan Schwanke. And Isaac Hively worked the give and go all Western to finish it off 66-34. A nice win as well to end the regular season for Western to build a little momentum for its regional sojourn next week as well. One score to report from Northeast Missouri. Not a good one from the Hannibal Pirates as they go to Jeff City and get thumped tonight by Helias. 56-40 is your final. One other bit of better news, though, in Missouri. I don't know why they play in the Missouri Homeschool State Title Field, but Quincy Homeschool, nationally ranked, gets it done tonight and wins a state championship, beating Lighthouse 53-39. Jordan Hickman was the MVP of the tournament, had 19 points, all of them in the second half. And we're just getting warmed up here on the Big Overtime Show. Lots of good college basketball action coming your way up next. That's okay. Happens. We covered. Look fine.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. Thursday's loss to UMSL was, truth be told, probably only minimally damaging to the Quincy University Lady Hawks, but piggybacking it with a second home defeat in 3 days would conjure a very different set of concerns and move the DEFCON worry scale in the wrong direction. How would QU do today on senior day against Maryville? Well, it was kind of a strange game. Quincy University playing catch-up almost throughout. Lucy Cramsey, though, doing everything in her power on her senior day to win out in her final Pepsi Arena game. Great take for her right here. More to come for the Lady Hawks. In catch-up mode, Sierra Young. Beautiful spin move and the kiss off glass. She's a very fine player. Got a very bright future. More to come. On the break, Lucy Cramsey again. 2 of her career-high 25 points. That's how you end up on senior day with a career high. And then some Felicia Loggins right here with a nice take. Quincy University trying desperately to come back in this ballgame. In fact, Lucy Cramsey had about a 30-footer that hit the rim twice to win this thing at the end of the regulation buzzer. But unfortunately for the Hawks, it's 2 straight losses now as Quincy University drops a 73-71 decision. Western Illinois at home today taking on South Dakota. That's Tori Neiman off to the good start here. But again, much like Quincy University, a game of catch-up played throughout. Western Illinois' all-time new leading scorer, Ashley Luke, with a great spinorama move. She, too, was tough today. And here's Michelle Maher making a nice move as well. Western trailing at this point, trying to get some sort of headway, trying to get back on top. Unfortunately for the Leathernecks, they could never do so, despite Luke's heroics there. Tough loss at home, and one that shuffles the conference standings and hurts Western a bit, especially because it was at home. 79-76 your final against Western Illinois in this ballgame. How about the John Wood women today, trying to get things done at the expense of Lincoln? And it was Happy Hannah Reller Day today at Mountain Dew Court. The Quincy High product doing wonderful things on the interior right here. Had herself a heck of a day, scored 14 points and was seemingly everywhere, including on the offensive glass, where Lincoln liked fouling her and she liked going through contact and completing the play. Had 2 of these 3-point plays as she scored a team-high 14 points. Brianna Taylor, none too shabby either, nor was Shea O'Brien playing in the setup role right here, finding Brianna Taylor, who was playing in front of her high school coach, Sandy DeVoe, right there. She was in attendance to watch this one. More to come from Hannah Reller as it was an all-out John Wood blowout at Lincoln's expense today. Final count in this one in favor of the Blazers, 85-45 with the win. How about some more for you from the scoreboard today? HLG loses to Williams Baptist by 4, and Culver Stockton a loser at home. Tell you what, Culver Stockton just can't quite seem to get over the hump, but they are playing much better basketball. Randy Lee Plunkett leading the way today in the loss for the Lady Wildcats with 15 points. 72-68 is how it ended up. Speaking of the Joe Charles Fieldhouse, we take you there for Beach Day today. There was a young man there today in a Speedo with leopard spots. I don't ever need to see Beach Day on the Hill again. How about James Johnson with 3 today, had 27 points, including his 1,000th of his career. Then Mario Gully with a sweet up and under move. More to come right here. The story in this game, though, Carl Moore killing it on the offensive glass. Great take for him. Oh, Wildcats building a 4-point lead and extending it out to 7 right there on C.J. Adams' 3. Story in this game, though, as I mentioned, Carl Moore, 30 points, 12 rebounds, new career highs in each category. He was at the height of his powers like Matthew McConaughey in the great detective show, True Detective on HBO. He was that good today as Culver Stockton gets it done, gets the victory. Final count in that one, as you saw, big time, 98-80. Senior day for the Quincy University men. Chris Babbitt and company trying to end it up on an up note today. If they could win, they guarantee themselves a spot in the GLVC tournament. Right here, Evan McGaffey was a whirling dervish of productivity early. Then it's Chris Babbitt opening with a real strong take. You saw him earlier. Senior day wanted to go out strong. Unfortunately, his shooting wasn't great today. Austin Weber with a great early take. 7-0 start in this one for the Hawks. And it would get a little bit better, even despite some defensive lapses right here, as Maryville can't complete the dunk, throwing it off the back end of the rim right there. And then at the other end, it's Evan McGaffey with 2 more of his team high, 20 points on the day. Unfortunately for the Hawks, he was the only Hawk in double figures. Quincy University's offense sort of moribund today. The defense not much better, and that is an awful, deadly combination as Maryville spoils the party and spoils it big. Final count in this one was 75-58 in favor of Maryville, but it really wasn't even that close. Quincy University with an ugly loss at home today. How about some better news on the college men's docket? John Wood taking on Lincoln. Pat Lepper and company back in town trying to spoil John Wood's bid for a outright conference title. Paxton Harmony had other ideas. Pretty up and under move right here to give his team a 2-point lead. It was a really tight game in this one. This youngster's joints, however, very, very fluid. Nice to be young, isn't it? How about this? TJ Tisdale about to get into beast mode. He had 33 points, 19 rebounds. He and Jordan Johnson, quite a team in the second half of this ball game. Jordan Johnson with 14 points, including the 3 there. Tisdale and Johnson, a law firm not to be stopped. Great finger roll right there by Tisdale. Great Johnson shooting from the perimeter in this one, and it turns out to be a blowout down the stretch. John Wood winning 84-69. Again, first ever league title for the Blazers in that ball game. Some scores to pass along today. Western Illinois on the road at South Dakota. 10 points less than South Dakota, losing 64-54. Garrett Covington, the freshman, with a team high 19 points. And HLG loses by 3 today to Williams Baptist. Couple of baseball scores just to make you feel a little bit closer to spring. Culver Stockton with a split against Lyon today, losing 10-9, but bouncing back in the nightcap with a 4-2 victory. And David Jacob continues his hot start for the Quincy University Hawk baseball team with 3 RBIs, but unfortunately Quincy University loses to Arkansas Tech. Final count in that game was 12-7. And we'll have more overtime for you coming up after this. Yeah. Let's talk Con Communication Connection nominee. We've never really had a missed dunk before, but Joel Howren made the most of it. And I know this was ultimately waved off, and we all know it shouldn't have been. But this young man turned a missed dunk into a buzzer beater that should have counted, that didn't. I'll tell you what, that's an awful lot of drama against Washington the other night to go missed. So we'll give him some credit because he had the presence of mind to keep his head up after the missed dunk right here to somehow get the ball off. And the buzzer goes off right here. I slowed it down. I don't know why they waved this off, but a great shot from Howren. Great attempt. Joel Howren is your second nominee for the month of February for your Con Communication Connection Award. Again, you know the drill at this point. At the end of the month, we'll put up all of our nominees. You get to vote for the play of the month, the connection of the month, and as well, you get to vote for your favorite. And by so doing, you get a chance to win a prize package simply by voting from Con Communications. Again, your other nominee at this point, Kaylee Coons, outstanding 30-footer in regional play last week for the Unity Lady Mustangs. So a couple of good ones already on the board for the month of February. Speaking of good ones, let's talk a little bit about awards. The official announcement is still to come, but word leaked out via various coaches that your 2014 Clarence Cannon Conference Boys Basketball Player of the Year, as we roll the video, will be none other than Highland big man Austin Richmiller, who missed the first part of the season with injury issues, but who has quickly emerged as the region's premier interior scorer in this just his sophomore season. We've also confirmed that Palmyra guards Trevor Meny and Brock Butler will join Rich Miller on the honors squad on the first team. Don't have the rest of it yet. I assume we will get that on Monday as well. We also know that on the girls' side of the ledger, speaking of Palmyra Panthers, to no one's surprise, Palmyra's wing, Kitty Hinkle, averaging better than 18.4 points per game this season, will be similarly awarded Conference Player of the Year honors. Hinkle is shooting better than 47% from the field at this point, despite those points that she's putting up, which is really incredible. And her clip from three-point range, 43% as well. That's darn good shooting. And she is also a Student Athlete of the Week honoree, so she's got a lot going for her at this point. We'll have more overtime going for you coming up after.